So if you've been involved with the market for a while, then you know that it takes not only a good understanding of the markets, but of human emotion as well. However, that's kind of easier said than done, especially when you think about work, family, school, and all the other responsibilities we have. Finding consistent candidates to trade can be extremely challenging. So in this video, I'm going to break down some of the tips and strategies to help you find the next big move, no matter what season of life you're in. Coming right up.
Hey, what's up? Rob here with Wealth Builders HQ, where we bring you the best tips and tools for building your skills to develop wealth for today and well into the future. And on this channel, we do a lot of stock market analysis for long and short term, as well as recaps just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, one of the questions we get most from our Wealth Builders HQ community is, how do you look at where the stock market has been and determine where it is headed? So we have actually put together an entire free live training workshop that is all about finding the best candidates for today's market. And there's a section for the community, you, to bring your stocks to the event and have me analyze them for you in real time. This free workshop is called Power Hour, and it's taught every Monday live online at noon Eastern Time. I'll leave a link to it below in the show notes.
So before we get into our regularly scheduled program, there's a workshop that I'm teaching, a free workshop coming up called Trading the Upcoming Storm. And the very first one is coming up this week, which is Tuesday night, 8 p.m., or Wednesday night rather, 8 p.m. It's the 6th. Tuesday the 6th at 8 p.m. I'm going to put a link to in the show notes down below. But folks, the market is going to crash. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The questions are this: what are you going to do when it does? Because it's going to crash. How are you going to protect what you have? That's number one. Number two, protecting it is important, but just as important is how are you going to capitalize on the largest transfer of wealth ever in the history of the world is going to take place in this upcoming drop. Yes, guys, in the last two drops we have had, major pullbacks we've had in 2000 and 08, both of them were US based, right? They were things like the bubble, the tech bubble and the internet bubble in 2000, and then in 2008 was the housing bubble. Right? Both of those things were U.S. based. The next expectation is not even going to be U.S. It's going to be believed to be around the globe, possibly China, as the next fail of where it all comes from. The biggest transfer of wealth globally is going to take place. Are you going to capitalize on it? What is your plan to take advantage of it? How will you make more money potentially in that move than you've ever made in your life? You need a plan. You need a system. You need a methodology. You need to be prepared. I am going to help you do just that. Guys, the link is below. I'll put the link down in the show notes also. Click on it. Even if you can't be there, guys, register for it, and we'll let you know when the next one is coming up. If we do another one, we'll let you know the next date. I don't want you to miss out on it. I need you to see exactly what's going to happen. And when it does, to make sure that you're prepared. All right. So let's go ahead and get back to our regularly scheduled program. Let's talk about economic reports. There's not a whole lot, but the most important one comes out on Wednesday, which is after the market at 7 o'clock, which is Fed Chair Powell, the Fed chairman, speaking. FOMC members speaking on Thursday. Big ones as far as I'm concerned. The one coming out at 6:05, they're also big. The only thing that's not Fed related here is the ISM, right? Everything else is about the Fed. Guys, there's a lot of traders going to be listening out for what's next. What are they saying? What's in between the lines? What are they hinting about in their reports, in their updates? So make sure you keep your eyes on those reports. They could be massive movers. That one on Thursday at 9 o'clock, only because it's 9 o'clock, at 9:30, only because it's at that time and the market's open, it has the biggest potential impact immediately. The one after the market at 7 p.m. from Fed Chair Powell on the 6th has the largest impact potential because of who he is as the chair. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some earnings. Here we've got a couple of earnings coming up on companies. We're starting to see closer to the end than we are at the beginning of earnings season right now. Many of the majors, the Apples, the Amazons, have announced already, many of them in the last week, right? So here's a couple of them that are out there right now. So you've got Humana, you've got Lilly, you've got CMI, Karen. There's quite a few of them that are out there that are still major companies, right? CLX, right? All of these major companies. So make sure you keep your eyes open still on companies when you're trading them. Check your earnings to know what's going on, all right? So, oh my goodness, the cover slide, right? What did the Fed do, right? If you heard their announcement, guys, and you saw on Wednesday after that announcement of more of that dovish pullback of the, well, we're not sure we're going to raise rates right now. We're going to kind of hold back. They left the door open. The opportunity is still there. They didn't say, that's it, we're done, right? We're just kind of pulling back and we're going to reevaluate. Even with that, remember, I don't think it's the U.S. any longer. And it's not just me. It's economists around the globe think it is a global problem for our next impending drop, not the U.S. So what the Fed did was decide to not raise rates, decide to pull back a little bit, which is where we saw a huge move in the market to the upside on that announcement, right? So we definitely want to be somewhat cautious on that, all right? So let's go ahead and from here, let's get into the charts, and let's start off by looking at the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 this week, guys, if we look at a weekly chart, each candlestick represents 1 week, and you know that by looking right here in the upper centered left, I guess, of the screen. It says weekly. And then in the upper right, we were up just about 42 points for the week. Overall, not a shabby week whatsoever. If we go back to a daily chart, which means each candlestick represents a day, right? If you count back 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we are on Monday. This yellow rectangle is something I call the dreaded box of neutrality. We've got a very specific methodology for trading that in our Power Options Plays workshop, right? So Monday, Tuesday, kind of sideways move. Wednesday, bam! The Fed came out. Fed spoke, right? Boom, huge move up, break out of the dreaded box of neutrality, and we push to the upside, right? Thursday, we get a nice push. Friday, we had some profit taking, not unexpected with when all of the move took place on Wednesday and Thursday. So not unexpected after Monday and Tuesday being flat. Wednesday, Thursday, we took off. Friday, we kind of slowed down and coasted into the weekend, right? Not too concerned with it at all, but a really nice move on the S&P this week, right? So when you look at some movers and shakers from last week, now we're going to flip over to weekly charts. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. Let me bring us back here. What's going on? Let me see. Nothing like live technical difficulties. Okay, so we're back. So when you look at Amgen, right, they had their earnings announcement come out. They're down about $12. They were down a lot more than that. They closed at 187 on the week, and they were down to about 180-ish in there. So they had a $7 further drop than they did, right? They did recover quite a bit of it in there, but overall bearish for them. Amazon's earnings came out. They're down 44 points on the week. Nothing to get overly concerned about as far as earnings. When we look at Amazon on a daily chart, though, you can see that they fell into a very precarious place. They're in a very bearish position, which we'll look at on some of our upcoming potential trade setups. Booking was up 35 points on the week. CMG, Chipotle Mexican Grill, also earnings. They are at 527 right now, down $16. Facebook, woo, baby. People do still love Facebook. Still spending money on it, and that's the marketers. And that's where all of their earnings came from, was their retail numbers, their sales numbers were off the charts. Nothing like was expected by Wall Street. And then Googly was up about 17 points. So Facebook is up almost 17 points, and Google was up 17 points. In other words, it wasn't a great week for Google. Now, the interesting thing is Google pressed right up above that 1135 fib line in there, which was a great resistance for it. Let's go take a look at some potential trades for this week. Let's get back to a daily chart. And we're looking at Amazon first off. If Amazon continues its slide, guys, we're looking at 1,600 as our next downside target. Biogen, let's get a little more time in there. Biogen, if we can get back above the 331.64 level, back above the moving average, which is 332.34, the pink line where the number is written up here. You just can't see it on the right because there's too much stuff happening there. If I really stretch it, now you can see it underneath there, right? Which obviously we don't want to do. So it's up in the top. If we can get above there, guys, 342 is our upside target. Not bad from 332. You got a $10 move in there. Right? Some of you could take the whole rest of the month off if you get just one good trade out of these. Right? When we look at Costco, Costco failed miserably on Friday. We've got a note in our power options place to take Costco below a certain level, and our first target is at 206.5, guys. So you've got some potential on there as well. And then Netflix. Ooh, I'm liking Netflix. If I could just get a small move to the upside, folks, we're looking at 354. It's a $14 move potential on Netflix. Great move, great potentials, great trading going to happen here, guys. I'm excited for this week. I hope you are as well.
I hope this update was helpful, and I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. And actually, if you want more insights like this, you could just go over to wealthbuildershq.com. I'll post a link to it below. Now, the question of the day is, what stocks are you going to be looking at for next week? Go ahead and let me know in the comments section below. So thank you for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't done so yet. And until next time, Wealth Builders HQ is bringing you the best tips and tools for building sustainable wealth in the stock market. Keep crushing it, and we'll talk soon. Take care, folks.